Hi Cancer, welcome to your season. Let's see what comes through for you guys, yeah? Okay, Queen of Swords. I don't know. I think this is a good energy to have this month. It's discerning, it's discriminating, it's decisive. She kind of knows what she wants, she kind of knows what she needs to do, and there's not a lot of questioning going through her mind. You know, cancers in general being so driven by that moon energy, by that intuition energy, you kind of hopefully have this kind of way about you that is always kind of driving you forward anyway. And that doesn't seem to be at a loss at a time when the only thing you're really going to be able to rely upon to navigate you through this season is your own self. Could be a lot of confusion this month. Mercury, Neptune's retrograde now. We have obviously the eclipses and the Saturn Pluto thing and the Mercury retrograde thing. I mean, like all these things are going to stir up a lot of stuff. But if you're true to who and what you are, and you're true to what you know for sure, and not from an ego place, but from a deep soul level awareness place, you can't go wrong this month. Honestly, you can't go wrong. If you feel like you need to cut something out and you're feeling really driven to do that from kind of, like I say, a non-ego place, then that's probably what's going to happen. If you're feeling driven to achieve some new goal or to take some new path or to make that move, it's probably going to happen. This is a cardinal energy. You are a cardinal energy. So that kind of connection, it's kind of like look out. Cancers are kind of on the, I'm not going to use a word as dramatic as like the rampage, kind of like I did last month. It's not like that. It's actually quite peaceful. But no one's really going to be able to tell you anything. So partnerships, lovers, business partners, friends, siblings, parents, Cancer, you're kind of just in this state of not listening. And not from an ego place. It's not what I mean. It's just you're realizing that a lot of people, they don't really know what they're talking about, and that they're probably trying to project their own ideas of their own insecurities onto you, and you're like, no, it's not happening. So as you move forward, Six of Swords, as you make certain separations, as you come to certain conclusions in your mind, the path becomes more and more clear, and the more and more clear the path becomes, the more at peace you become. And that's ultimately the goal, right? Ultimately, the goal is to get yourself to a place where you don't have any upheaval. That's probably kind of maybe a somewhat unique message for the month that Cancer, this is going to be a quite peaceful month. There may be turbulence out in the external world, but as long as you're aligned, there is no turbulence. It just simply doesn't exist. It's just made up of everyone else's ideas. Like I think you're tapping into the illusion versus the non-illusion, the illusion versus the true reality or the base reality. And I think you're starting to see how people concoct all sorts of ideas. And in a weird way, you're just kind of sitting up in your Queen of Swords throne, just kind of looking and saying, okay, wow, that's what that person created. So obviously that's what they've created, and it doesn't have anything to do with me. See, I don't know that you're going to feel torn this month. I don't necessarily know that you are going to feel like you have to go, half of me wants to go here, half of me wants to do that. I always say that when this card is reversed, it means that you're not juggling all your masks anymore, right? You're not putting on one face for your family and another face for your office and another face for your friends and for the buddies or the, whatever. Like you're not doing the whole thing. Like this is just Cancer. This is raw, authentic, pure Cancer. And it's probably going to be somewhat shocking for some people because they're going to want what they want you to be. They're going to want you to be what they want you to be. And they're going to perceive it as harsh. And they're going to perceive it as being an affront to them. But clearly you got to do what's best for you. I have this feeling that because of this moment, because of this turning point, this is going to propel a great deal of success in many areas of your life. This is not just about your romantic relationships or your money situation. This is all encompassing because this is first house activity, right? Every year, solar return, especially if you're a Cancerian ascendant, this is first house activity. So this is you. And this is a time when all the other worldly things aside, it's like if you're aligned, then that's all you need. I don't know that Cancer, you're going to have the energy to juggle. You're not going to have the energy to pretend. You're not going to have the energy to be, honestly, you're not going to have the energy to do anything with frivolous stuff. It's like, it's real, it's solid, it means something or it doesn't. And that line is very clear cut in your mind. That line is very obvious to you. It's either worth it or it's not. And you are only taking those 6 things, right? The 6 swords. You're only taking those things that are worth it. Because the thing with this 6 of Swords card that we don't see is all the stuff that was left behind. We're only taking the lessons and the paths and the ideas that are worth something in that boat. And there's only 6 of them, which means like there's only a few things that are going to make the cut of what's worth it. You may have to be harsh, right? To be expected. Weirdly, I don't see your tower moment being this huge explosive thing. We're all going to have these this month, but it's not going to be this, it's going to be a soft, subtle thing. It's a modification of behavior. It's a modification of tone of voice. It's a modification of just kind of energy that you bring into the room. Because I know now that Cancer is keenly aware of the energy that they bring into the room. They're starting to understand what it means to be responsible for their energy. So they come in, it might be different, and I think people aren't going to like it because it's different. And they're like, well, what were you doing before? And you're like, well, it doesn't matter what I was doing before. This is what I'm doing now. Maybe some of you really are putting the past in its place back there. And you've stopped allowing it to define you, right? And you've kind of come to that real hard and fast conclusion that the past really is not who you are. And it doesn't have to be, and you don't have to wallow in fear and all of that. So things have shifted. People are going to feel the Cancerian shift. Like, whoa, the Cancers that are in other people's lives, they're going to feel like Cancer's different now. It's a whole new modus operandi of dealing with the Cancer now. And again, because of this, you can expect great levels of success because there's no blockage anymore, right? That blockage is it's going to be, removed. Maybe not all the blockages, but probably a pretty big one. And if you go into the eclipses consciously and say, yes, I'm ready to let it go, it will shift. Because the tendency, a lot of swords, a lot of blue. You'll see when I put the camera down, there's a lot of blue energy. Blue is the card of truth. Blue is also the card, associated with the vocal or the throat chakra here. So it's about things that need to be said. And there's no holding back. There's no maliciousness coming from Cancer at all, but it's clear. And honestly, I think there are going to be some people that are going to try to pull some stuff, and they're going to try to pull the wool over your eyes, and they're going to try to make you feel guilty for who you're becoming. And this is the essence of everything that's happening. People are feeling so raw, and they're feeling really insecure. So when they try to, they're puffing up their ego to make them seem so much stronger, which you, Cancer, can just look right through that and just kind of, it's funny. It's funny what people are trying to do to protect themselves. It's funny to see what people are trying to do to protect their past, and to try to protect themselves by keeping you as what you have always been to them. You know, like they don't want you to change because they're afraid to change themselves. And I think that kind of energy is really going to come out. And because you are at this Queen of Swords, sitting very high on the mountaintop, looking down from an 10,000 foot perspective, you only have one option to deal with that, and that's the option of compassion. Doesn't mean you have to keep them in your boat and take them with you. Definitely doesn't mean that. But I know that you see what they're doing, and I know that you see their pain. And I think you're going to feel deeply compassionate for people like that. And as you move forward in your boat, Six of Swords, there is going to be a part of you that wishes that you could do the hard stuff for them. But you also know you can't. Because as your tower has, kind of been affected, you know that others is going to be affected as well. But we are all responsible for picking up the pieces of our own tower. We're all responsible for rebuilding. So it is kind of a on your own kind of game. And not everyone is capable of doing that. It's probably going to be a bit sad. That Six of Swords. You're moving forward and you're finding peace in your life, but it doesn't come entirely without a loss. It doesn't come entirely without a loss. So we'll have to clarify, definitely, oops, hold on, put those backwards. I think the question that's really going to hit home for you, what's worth it? I don't see Cancer getting defensive this month. I see you walking away from situations where you may feel like you had to get defensive. See, you're moving forward in an absolutely perfect direction, because I know this is where you want to be. You want to be in a position, okay, let's talk about it generically, right? Money, okay, yes. Money, financial security, taking care of that root chakra, that quality of survival. Okay, yeah, you need to do that. And if that's where your focus and attention needs to be, then that's where it needs to be. This is you and tapping into that Taurus self-reliance kind of thing. Let's talk about family. Yeah, family is a big thing for you right now, and your place within family and your ability to create your own family and to care and to nurture. In terms of your career, making it to that next level. Giving back to your community, being someone that makes a difference, that makes an impact, This is, I think, this is more big picture kind of stuff. And this is where your sights are set. It's Capricorn stuff, right? It's big picture kind of stuff. And so the pettiness of the Five of Swords, and even kind of weirdly, the pettiness of the Tower, it doesn't hold a candle to the Ten of Coins, even though this is a major arcana. It's not as relevant as the Ten of Coins. When you have your sights set on something that contributes to the world, contributes to humanity, that makes a difference in people's lives, I think you are going to feel compelled to do anything that you possibly can to get to that point, while simultaneously feeling a great deal of satisfaction with where you are and who you've become. So 10 of Coins is really where it's at. It's a dangerous thing when people become aligned. It's a dangerous thing when people become authentic. And when I say dangerous, I mean you want to hope that you give value to that person, right? People are going to want to hope that they give value to Cancer because they want to be in that Six of Swords boat, because they know that what comes with is small group of people. Okay, what else? This is a season of letting go. This is not anything to worry about. It's to be expected and celebrated. Okay, yeah, a little emotional, fine. Who cares? Feel the emotion, let it out. Like if you gotta cry, cry. If you gotta throw a little emotional temper tantrum, by all means, go for it. Because it's not easy to walk away from a Five of Swords, because sometimes a Five of Swords is like, You want to be approved by someone or validated by someone, or you want to be accepted into something, or you want something, but it's all ego, right? So when you kind of step aside from that ego, it means sometimes that you never get what you wanted. But there's also the acknowledgement and the understanding that maybe what you always wanted isn't really what you needed. So it's all good. 5 of Cups, enjoy it. Enjoy the feeling of grief and sadness. It's very healing. If you think of it as a healing process, you're going to have a much easier time. I don't know, this card kind of gets a bad rap sometimes because it's like, oh, it's so sad and da 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 da, but like, no. Feel sad. Indulge in the sadness for a minute. You got to let it out, because sometimes you need to grieve the things that have gone by the wayside and the things that you've lost in order to really fully and truly appreciate the things that you have and where you're going. This is a simplification process. This is purification right here. Okay? And what better time? Okay, we're getting a couple. I'll go ahead and pull them all since they all fell out upright. And you're the Empress as well. Okay, 2 cards of Taurus. Okay, this card also represents Libra because of the Venus, okay, symbol down there. I know a lot of people ask, I thought Libra was justice, but yeah, this one is a Venus card, so Taurus and Libra. And there is a quality of balance that comes through with the Empress as well. You are officially at a time where you are inviting great abundance into your life. 10 of Coins, the Empress, and the 4 of Wands that came through as well. You are in the process of establishing stability in your life. I always say that this card here is like the inner guru or the Buddha that lives within all of us. It represents the covenant that we've made with our soul, right? We come here for a reason. We come here to live, to feel, to think, to feel pain, to feel joy, to feel everything. And, to make good choices, to be of service, and all these wonderful things that we're taught. And this is your opportunity to stop dealing in anything that distracts from those things. When you tap into the true essence of who and what you are, a light person, right? And to actually live into that. Some of you are going to be spending a lot of time at home, and that's a wonderful thing. Please, by all means, spend a lot of time at home. Nothing wrong with that. Because I know that that's where Cancer feels safe and secure, and where they feel like they can transform. Some people transform through their work. Some people transform through sex, right? Scorpio theme. Some people transform through deep meditation. Well, I think on some level you do the transformation with your closest relationships, your family, and the people that you care about the most. So there's a lot of stability. So if you feel unstable at any moment during the month, please know that that's extremely short-lived, okay? Very short-lived. It's not going to last. Your stability is going to come through with no question. So the last card that we got was the 9 of Wands. So it's the guardedness. Yeah, and I think you do kind of need to be on your guard a little bit. This is neither offensive or defensive. It's just simply observant. It's kind of how I feel like. It's like paying attention. It goes well with the Queen of Swords. I think it's a good idea for you to reserve any judgments toward other people at this time. Did I say this already? I don't remember if I said it already. But to not judge anyone for anything at this moment in time. It's not going to serve you well. It's not going to serve them well. You simply don't have enough information. They simply don't have enough information. It's like, okay, the cleanup cannot begin until that tower is officially crumbled, right? You got to let the dust settle. You got to let it come to a pause before you can start making judgments and making decisions about things. So do what you know is best for you, and that's it. But when it comes to anybody else, interjecting opinions, giving advice, doing anything that has anything to do or has any impact on other people's lives, I say reserve it for Leo season. Okay, Mars is coming into Leo. in the next several days. So gonna kind of start tapping into that more Leo energy, which is what's going to serve you real well with this. Okay. Alrighty. Now let's put the camera down, and I have some new decks that we're going to use. So let me flip this over. Sorry, hold on. I finally got that arm to make the camera more overhead. But I am having a hard time getting it set up now. So anyway, okay, so let's pull a couple more tarot cards for this reading, and then we'll pull some different cards, some oracle cards. Page of Cups. Keep the conversation light. Okay, I think that's in everyone's best interest, to keep the conversation light, to keep the 2 pages, coins and cups. Yeah. Honestly, there's going to be a huge desire to keep it deep and meaningful and impactful, and to like make it so, honestly, you can't take it to those depths right now. Like I said, you simply just don't have a lot of information. You're in the process of really establishing what it is you want, and that's on, the more important thing. So when it comes to other people, keep it light. People may try to come to you, may try to come into your life, come into your sphere. I think your 9 of Wands energy is going to kind of keep them at arm's length, but in a good way. I don't think this is bad at all. I don't think this is you having any blockages or being difficult or anything like that. It's just a matter of waiting it out and letting time take the reins. People that don't let time take the reins right now are probably going to be making some pretty big mistakes, okay? The Age of Light. You've been training for this for lifetimes, okay? Sorry, my camera. Whatever. Okay. So the Age of Light, you've been training for this. This is an important time. We don't get the nodes in our sign all that often. It only comes around, every several years. But when we have it, we know that we are aligning to a lot of new future things, okay? This is really why you're here. I think it's like every 18 years, you're going to get the North Node in your sign. So every 18 years, you have an opportunity to open up this portal, to open up this gateway into your purpose, into your future, into your path. So a lot of you are stepping into that, which is fantastic. And pull one more oracle just for fun. My Moonology deck that I just bought. Your dreams need a practical plan, full moon in Taurus. So you do have this Taurus energy coming through, okay? Multiple Taurus cards. And Taurus is slow and deliberate. It is it's an energy of practicality. And I think it bodes well. I think the Cancerian-Taurus connection work very well together. And so this is not something that's that difficult. But in order to make the plans for the future, you're going to need to start clearing stuff out. And I think that's something that's going to come online this month. Okay. Now let's start clarifying with the other Rider-Waite deck. Okay. We're going to start with clarifying the Tower card. Let me get the reversals in there first. Okay. Let's clarify the Tower card. Oh, a whole bunch came out. 4 of Coins and the Judgment card. What did I say about judgment? The best judgment is no judgment. That's the best judgment for all of us right now. And the 9 of Coins. Focusing on you. Now, for those of you who don't know, these are going to be the clarifiers that we'll cover in the comprehensive reading, which will be available via the description box down below. Okay. Now, the King of Swords I see as someone else. Okay. Okay, a love connection, a twin flame connection, soulmate connection, however you want to refer to it, a version of self that you don't like, the fear, the afraid part of your own self that you don't like. Whoop, okay, I didn't mean to pull out so many, but okay, fine. It's about striking balance. Okay, we get that. Now, Six of Swords. Okay, no more for that. Two of Coins. Eight of Swords. This represents kind of some overwhelming emotion. I think the water, the kind of turbulent water in this card is somewhat dominating. And Two of Cups. Interesting qualities of balance coming through. Hanged Man reverse. Oh, hold on. Two just fell on the floor. Eight of Wands and the Sun. Okay. A lot of pages, which gives me a very light energy. That's how things need to be dealt with. Light language. I feel like it has a lot to do with language because of the Queen of Swords that came out first. Okay, Tower, we know. We already know. Five of Coins. Okay, a lot of fives. Five of Swords. Five of Coins. Five of Cups. Seven of Swords. That's probably going to be the main focus for the comprehensive, if I'm being honest with you. That card right there, the Five of Cups. Okay, Emperor. Connected with the two reversed kings, I think, coming through here. I see opportunity to come from conflict. There's opportunity that comes from what happened or is going to happen. Okay, so it's not for nothing. I'm not going to clarify these 4 and 9. I'm just going to kind of keep those. I'm going to clarify the pages though. Pages always get clarified with crazy cards. It's always like such a thing. Okay, yeah. So I'm seeing this Moon card as being a card of processing. Not a lot of action right now. If you start to try to plan for the future, especially if you have a significant other and you're like, let's get married, let's have babies, let's do this, let's do that. Those kinds of plans and those kinds of conversations aren't going to go well. That's why it's like just about figuring it out and allowing things to percolate. Okay, full moon in Taurus. Yeah, there's the other 5. I had a feeling we were going to get all 5s. Okay, and another card of Taurus, of course. Yeah, okay. So this is where we're going to pick up for the comprehensive. Again, if you want to go through, we talk for another 20 to 25 minutes. If you want to join, feel free. That link will be in the description box down below. If not, I will see you next month, and I hope you guys have a great month. All right? Take care. Bye-bye.